Hello everyone, this is Ali Reza and here we are with another episode of RPG APR Core Node Editor. Now in this episode we will create our nodes. One thing though, we are in GraphUtils and we wouldn't have access to our current graph schema, I'm afraid, or maybe we have. So who said I should type in Persian? Graph schema, and we call it schema graph. We get the name, and also we want something else, and this is vector to position to create the node inside it. So before anything else, I need to come here and say it's the current graph, this is the name, and the position is mouse position that we clicked in. Okay, so let's get rid of everything here and get busy. So the first thing we want to do, we want to check if schema graph equals to null. We return. We don't do anything. Other than that, we say var current node equals to we typecast it to node, and we want a scriptable object dot create instance by type. No, we don't have the type. We want the type here. Okay. And here we can say reflection utils dot get type of the node name, and we want to send in the namespace. Now the namespace, as you would see here, is different. It can be anything. Okay, but the smallest thing is buzz node graph node. Be sure that it's part of that namespace. And that can be done like that. Okay? Now, we say if current node equals to null, means that we sent in something bad, we return. We don't do anything. Then we say string name no, we have the name. Okay? So we wait. We say string sub name equals to node name dot substring of 0, comma node name dot length minus 4. So we drop this node from the name. Okay, then we want to say current node dot node name equals to the subname and we say current node dot name, this is for the object, we say equals to subname plus space node. After that, we say current node dot initialize, so we initialize the name node, and we say schema graph dot related graph dot nodes dot add our current node. Then we say current node dot parent graph equals to schema graph dot related graph. After that, we want to add this to the base graph that we have. So we say current node. We want to say asset database dot add object to asset. The current node and the object is schema.graph.relatedGraph. Now we need to say asset database.save assets, because if we don't save the asset here, then we can't, and this is plus not equals, then we can't put the relationship between the schema graph and the graph. Anyway, so now we want to do the same stuff for the schema graph. So we say current node schema equals to node schema and node name plus schema. Now the schemas are in different namespace. Node schema. Okay? There. After that, we again check if current node schema equals to null. Return. If it's not, then we say current node schema dot. Actually, we don't have node name here, so better. Related node equals to current node, and we say current node schema dot initialize. After that, we say current node schema dot node rect dot x equals to the position that we sent in dot x, current node schema dot node rect dot y equals to position position that we sent in dot y, and then we say current node schema dot parent graph equals to schema graph. Then we say if schema graph does not equals to null, we say schema graph dot selected node dot is selected equals to false. That means if we had anything there, so we need to check and schema graph dot selected node does not equals to null. So if we had any node selected before, we are deselecting it basically. That's it. So then we say current node schema dot is selected equals to true. So we are selecting this new generated schema, and schema graph dot nodes dot add current node schema, and finally we say schema graph dot selected node equals to current node schema. Then we say asset database dot add object to asset, current node schema to schema graph. Then I move the selected node below that. Then we say schema graph dot selection node dot add current node schema. Selection node will be used when we want to drag and select multiple nodes at the same time. So at the end we say asset database dot save assets, and finally asset database dot refresh. So right now what I have is just the ability to create the node, add them to the graphs, but I'm not showing it here. Okay? So if I right click and hit test, you see that our schema now has test graph schema, and our test graph has test node. And this guy I forgot to rename it, so good to check everything. So where I'm at, on top, we say current node graph schema dot name equals to subname plus node schema. Okay, so if I, for example, delete it manually, I can't, so I will delete the whole thing, and I will create a test graph, create, and argument null exception. I hate when it's happening like this because, okay, so where is happening? On GUI. Come on, show it properly, please. So we have node editor window on GUI. Source deprecated, blah blah blah. So it won't close. We have our graph. Let me see. Node editor window on GUI. If any one of these, create view and return. Okay. There we go. I need to put this below there, although it shouldn't change anything. Okay, and then where is the other? Work view process events. Why are you not happy? Views, work view, process events. I think it's this guy, although it shouldn't be. Okay, load the graph, test the graph. Let's delete it properly this time. And yeah, I'm not getting the context menu now. Huh. This guy should happen regardless of what. Oh. Yeah. We want to say menu dot show as context menu before returning. Okay. So now I get create graph, and let's call this new graph and hit create. So it's creating. I think it was because I didn't properly deleting before. So If I create test now, null reference exception. Huh. Create node. What's wrong with you? Uncomment this line. Build. No. So clear. Load the graph again, please. Test. Huh. Okay. So we get the test node. We get the test node schema. Delete the graph. Create something like, I don't know, blah. Create. And we get argument null. Whew. Let's debug it by each other. So graph utils. Well, this one is redundant because we are checking it on top. So that's that. Nodes, any graph schema. This is the problem. When we are initializing, we should say list. We should say, come on, selection node equals to new list of that. That's one part. And inside our graph, inside our initialize, we should say nodes equals to new list of nodes. So we had null lists basically. I think that's it. I'm not sure. So delete the graph, yes, clear. Generate the graph, test, graph, create, and argument null. Now why? Process events and update view. Work view. It doesn't change anything. What I'm doing wrong during the graph creation. So we are initializing it, then we're setting the name, create asset, save, initialize, create asset, save, refresh, and then set the window schema to this guy. Set the window schema, then current graph schema. Work view. And where is the thing that we are using? Current graph. Did we call it current graph? On viewbase. Where is that thing? Base view. Current graph. Okay. Oh, wait. Control X, delete, protected, virtual, void, draw, background. Do this. So inside our work view, where are you? When we get the name, no, actually, okay, move it on top, and then we say base dot, or we can simply say draw background. So build, and I will just see the background for this guy now. That's okay. Delete the graph, create a whatever, and we still get argument cannot be null. Which argument are you referring to? Link check. This guy. I'm sending the event. I'm getting the event from here. So node editor window. I'm sending the event here from here. Current graph equals graph. Oh. Oh. Workview, where are you? Yeah, of course it won't work. Where is that link? No, I'm checking for null. Ah, here we go. And current graph dot nodes does not equal to null, and that's basically. So I could move this guy again down, remove this part, base view, rolling back, Control X, Control V, remove that. So the only thing I changed was inside the work view. When I'm checking to see if my mouse is in boundary, I'm checking for current graph nodes any, but I'm not checking if the nodes itself is not null. That was the problem. So yeah. Clear. Whatever. And no null reference exception anymore. Now I get another null reference. And what is this one happening? So I'm creating the test node. I'm not creating it inside the schema. The worst thing possible is that it's not showing me the stuff. Create node. The line number, I mean. So graph utils create node. If the schema graph is null, return. Okay. Create node, instance, node name, that. This node schema. Where are you in? Node schema. That's okay. Schema. So things start from here. Node schema, scriptable object, create instance, get type, blah, 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 blah. Let's see what I get from there. Debug.log. This type. Build. Clear. Delete the graph. Create the graph. And assign test. So we get test node schema and come on, test node schema. Well, we actually found it. Okay, so this is not the problem. Here we say debug.log. current node dot, I don't know, something, node name, comma, not comma, plus this plus current node schema dot related node dot node name. And I need to, well, basically, yeah, this should work. Then we initialize this guy. What's I'm doing in the node schema initialize? Okay, that's nothing related to anything. Parent graph equals that. If selected node does not equals null, that current node schema is selected through nodes but add. I think it's here. So graph schema selection, and yeah, we forgot to instantiate the nodes. Damn it. Nodes equals to new list of that. Derping. So build last test and it should work. Delete everything, clear, create graph, whatever, and create the test. And we are success, no errors. We just have that debug from context, and I hate it. So graph work view, where is that context debug? What the? There we go. Here it is. Okay. So now let's take a look at our assets. So inside editor, we have our schema. Inside the schema, we have test node schema. Test node schema has a parent graph and has a node rect, as you see. Related node is test node, that's okay. Node skin, I'm not assigning it yet. Inputs is a list, output is a list, help is empty, icon is empty, show name is nothing, and view rect is nothing. Okay? Now, inside the database, we again has a test node. Test node has a graph, has outputs, inputs, has an ID. As you see, this is the encrypted GUID, and this is the GUID to string, and has a list of metadata. Okay, cool. So now we created our nodes. Now the reason I'm using that flag, you see that now it has a drop down. Okay, so if I flip those flags inside my nodes base, if I find anything, graph schema, window, work view, base node, no, that's base node. Okay, node. If I unhide this flag and do the same for the node schema, let's do it actually and show you the difference. And build. Okay, now let's delete this graph and create a new graph and whatever, create a test. Okay, now if I come back, you see that I can't see the test nodes in any one of these two assets. Okay, and basically that's the reason I commented that flag, to be able to debug stuff, but at the end of the production, when we made sure everything is working, we will uncomment that so that we just see the graph itself, the top scriptable object actually as the thing. And if you look, for example, inside the schema under nodes, now you see that we have a test node. Okay, and I can see it in the editor, in the what was the name? Project browser. Okay, same here. If I look at the nodes, I see that test node is here. And there is no active node, because active node is what happens inside the ticking of the graph. But here, if I look at the selected node, you will see that our test node is now selected node. Okay? And inside our selection node, we have one element, and on selected node, it's also the selected node. Okay? And show properties is off, blah, 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 blah. Okay? And that's it. For this episode, it had few bugs running here and there. But the most part was that I forgot to initialize my lists on the graph and the graph schema. So I forgot to initialize these. And on nodes, I forgot to initialize the well, not node, on the graph. I had forgot to initialize this once. Okay, the rest is just working. And yeah, I think no graph utils, nothing happened here. I hope. No, it was the same. Cool. So here are the things that we have, and now we are able to create our nodes. From now on, we have to go and work inside our base node schema to draw our node utilities stuff. Because if you now look inside our work view, I think, we are checking if the current graph does not equal null, then we update its GUI. But the update GUI here, no, has nothing. So we have to come to graph schema, write the update GUI for the graph schema. This will cause every node in itself to draw its GUI, and that would happen here later on. As I said, there is a reason I made node schema partial, because it will be a big class by itself. Okay, so that's that. Now hopefully we don't have any more problems here. So where is my node schema? Okay, it's under graph. I was thinking of putting it inside another namespace, but nah, all of them will sit here. So next episode, graph schema and node schema GUI, one after another. Have fun, everyone. Bye-bye.